Hello, welcome dear community. Welcome at the selection day of the FinTech Accelerator Elevator Lab. We've seen 15 very good pitches, very international pitches here at Raiffeisenbank International. And now we have 3 of the finalists who made it actually into the program. With us is Søren Öblink, the CEO of Finabro. Søren, welcome.
Thank you.
And with us is as well Michelson from PayKey. Servus. I said servus because you're from Israel, and this is how we greet, so to say, foreigners in our country. Congratulations, first of all. Now let's have some insights of your company, Søren. What do you do? We know you're Finabro from Austria, but please repeat it for our international audience today.
I will do that. So, Finabro is a digital platform for saving and investing for retirement. Right? So essentially the problem we're trying to solve is that our generation, we have to plan to become 100 years old. This is actually good news, but it's very expensive, especially if we want to retire with 65 or 70. So the key thing we are trying to solve is helping people save in a better, more convenient way for retirement.
But there are products on the market who do the same. Where's the USP?
So I think fundamentally, as someone coming from Scandinavia, coming from a country like Denmark, where you arguably have one of the top 3 pension systems in the world, the system here in Austria fundamentally doesn't work. The system in Germany is better, but it's not very good. Most of the systems in Central Eastern Europe, you have to look at the countries easily, are at a very mediocre quality. So I think one of the USPs that we have is that we understand probably better than most in our markets how a well-functioning pension system is and what the different levers of a well-functioning pension product is. And this we're trying to execute for the Austrian market right now and at a later stage abroad.
Who do you see as your competitors? Are these the established companies, insurances, banks, or fintechs and insurtechs who are maybe offering something similar?
So I think it's a little bit of everyone and no one. I think if you look in Austria and Germany, you have a lot of companies that offer savings, investing relevant products. Of course, this is almost a 100 billion euro market just in the German-speaking region. However, if you look at pension in particular, and for me the biggest lever of pension will always be employer pension, company pensions. Here it's more the typical insurance companies, and their offerings, I would say, are very inadequate for the needs of our generation.
Perfect. May, what do you do? What is PayKey?
PayKey is a social banking solution that enables bank customers the ability to interact with their bank straight from any app. Meaning whether you're inside Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, doesn't matter, any app at all, you will be able to send money, receive money, check your balance, so any functionality straight from that app.
Okay, my goodness, do you have already a product here? Is this idea stage of your
No,
company?
we are actually live with 10 different banks. We are live with ING in Poland, we are live with Garanti Bank in Turkey, you'll be in Singapore, Westpac in Australia.
And how does the product look like? Do you integrate your technology into the existing?
I can show you.
Okay, show me.
It looks like that. Basically, I'm going into my WhatsApp.
So you're in your WhatsApp now?
I'm in my WhatsApp now.
Yeah?
In my WhatsApp, in my keyboard, I have my bank logo. I press on it and this menu pops out. And from the menu, I can do whatever I want.
And here it says send money?
Yeah, send money, and that's it. And
so
this
if
will
I
be
was your WhatsApp contact, you could send me money with your technology via WhatsApp.
Exactly, and this will be branded for Raiffeisen.
Wow. So what is your particular use case, the pilot project with Raiffeisen?
So for the pilot with Raiffeisen, we will do a pilot with Tatrabanka, and we will do send money, check my balance, and a few very cool use cases as well.
How is your business model? How do you earn money in this value chain?
We license our technology to the bank.
Do they integrate your technology in their own products?
Exactly. So the way it works is that we customize the keyboard for the bank, and then it's being integrated with the bank API level integration. So we don't touch the backend, we don't touch the security. Everything remains the same. We are just another skin of the banking app.
Amazing. This year, the Elevator Lab had 8 local challenges in the food space of the bank. You won the Slovakia one. How did you find out about it? How was the experience?
We saw about it on LinkedIn, and it was amazing. We registered. We were very excited to win first place. Tatrabanka is an amazing bank, so innovative, and it was a true honor to win their first place.
What was the feedback to your product from the first selection?
That they are interested.
Okay. So then what is your particular pilot project? All the finalists of this elevator lab will work on particular pilot projects with the Raiffeisenbank International. What did you think of?
So we will be basically adapting our platform for a specific savings or pension savings product for one of the RBI group companies.
Okay, and also on the international level, or would you want to start on a test market first?
So we start in Austria, but clearly our software is applicable across Europe, so we hope we can grow beyond Austria with RBI.
What about your business model? How do you earn money? How do you want to earn money also in the cooperation with RBI?
So we earn money on several fronts. So one of them is that we invest and we manage money. And we have a typical business model of earning a percentage from asset under management. But we also have a technology stack and a platform that we license for a license fee. So it's a combination of the two.
Cool. May, you are coming from Israel, from Tel Aviv, one of the global hotspots for startups, for fintechs. Mm-hmm. What's your impression of Austria?
I love Austria. I want to move here.
Grow your business here. We're strong. We're good.
Yeah, we will open another subsidiary here in Austria.
Really? Perfect.
No.
I take that word. Huh?
Yeah. Maybe in the future.
What is the fintech space in Israel? How is it like? Because my observation nowadays is that 3 years ago we were talking about fintechs taking over the banking business, banks dying away. We don't see that dynamic anymore. We see cooperation, we see fintechs delivering products that are useful for the banks. Is that the dynamic in Israel as well?
It is, but it's some startups today come and say we're going to disrupt the banking industry, blah, blah, blah. We're not there. What we want to do is we want to position the bank as innovative leader. So our goal is to partner with the bank and really to help it to be more engaged with the customer, to improve the customer experience.
So then do you see yourself as the disruptor of banks or partner and collaborating partner of banks?
So definitely as a collaborative partner. I think our biggest topic is pension retirement. This is a huge industry in selected countries where this has a value, and here it's a very small industry. So we are not out to eat anybody's lunch, but we are out to growing into a significant position in this industry. Working with banks, but of course also competing with banks.
Perfect. Maybe final question, what is your expectation to the pilot phase? What do you expect to come out?
A successful POC, a good customization integration with Tatra Banka, and then hopefully a commercial release afterwards.
Perfect. Søren, for you?
We expect within 2 quarters to be reaching hundreds of thousands of Austrians with our products together with RBI.
Amazing. All the best for this path, and thank you for being with us. We now have 2 other speakers, another startup, another finalist is with us, and I might say hello to Ross Leonard. Hello.
Hello.
From Cambrist. And with us
That's
is
right.
the project lead of this awesome accelerator, Max Schausberger. Max, hello. Please, pitch your startup. What idea did you bring into this accelerator?
Thank you very much. So effectively what we do is we bring foreign exchange-based innovation into the core debit and credit space. And for us, it's been one of the really interesting things about the fintech disruption over the last 5 years has been its success in the whole foreign currency world. We've got the growth of TransferWise, TransferMate, Currency Cloud, and in the card space, Revolut, which has been a huge successful business around it. And all of that innovation in the prepaid space hasn't really translated across to the mass market products that we have in our wallets at any shape and time. Effectively, Revolut is still a small company in the context of the European market despite its massive growth, and there's huge opportunity to bring that innovation in-house into the core banking networks. And really, that's why we're so excited to be involved in a program like this, because Raiffeisen's a perfect partner, given its geographic location, given its spread across different markets. They're a perfect partner to trial something like this to show that we can bring innovation in foreign exchange into core banking products.
Amazing. Could you explain to us the core problem that you're addressing? What is the status quo? What are you improving?
Really, it's the experience of shopping overseas. And there's 2 pieces to that. Obviously, one, there's the cost, and that's what Revolut has been so successful around. But there's other problems that people sort of don't realize until they sort of really notice it in their banking account. And one of the things that we're going to try and solve with the Raiffeisen team that we're involved in this one is the simple idea that the rate that you pay, the rate that you get, sorry, the cost of the transaction when you hand over your card to buy something overseas isn't actually set until multiple days later. It's not set until the merchant actually posts the transaction into clearing. So it's mad that in today's world, when you hand over your card to pay for something overseas, it's not certain how much that's going to cost you in your domestic currency. Now, most of the time, it's not a huge difference. It's more an annoyance more than anything else. But it has real-world problems. One of the banks that we're beginning to look to work with in the UK has a bill splitting application. That bill splitting application is based on the authorization rate, not on the clearing rate, which means that if you're the one organizing the bill splitting and the exchange rate moves between when you share the bill versus when actually it hits your account, you're the one who's left holding the difference, and it costs you more. So it's sort of strange that we have this hyper-digital world, yet in the core payments part of overseas transactions, we haven't brought that hyper-real-time environment into that space. And that's one of the problems we're going to look to solve with Raiffeisen, so that customers, when they hand over their card to pay for something overseas, that's the rate that they ultimately pay. It doesn't change between when they hand over their card and when the merchant posts the transaction.
Why are you able to do that? What kind of technologies are you using? How is your product built?
Well, that's the secret sauce that we don't particularly want to talk about in any great detail. But no, really, what we do is effectively we are combining advanced FX trading strategies with clearing, settlement, and reconciliation services that allow us to match transactions and hedge the difference on that over time. So effectively, that's one of the other reasons that Raiffeisen is a perfect partner for us, because they have a really strong capital markets business that has huge experience in trading foreign currency exposures. At the same time, they have the card network and the card products across multiple regions to combine those two things. So really, Raiffeisen's a partner that combines those two specialities to deliver these solutions to cardholders. And really, that's why we're excited about this.
Is it fair to say that you're helping Raiffeisen compete with Revolut and fintech startups claiming to build new banks?
Yeah, I think so. I think the reality is that the job that Revolut, TransferMate, the job that Monzo and the Starling are doing in the UK has really been one to sort of open people's ideas to what the possibilities are around financial services. It's only to be expected that the large incumbents will look at that and think, I like that, I'd like to be able to do something like that. And certainly in our conversations with the neobanks in the UK and elsewhere, they'll welcome the competition. They love that idea. They don't see themselves as being sort of disadvantaged in that competitive fight. And really what we're doing is helping people get involved in that market. And frankly, we're beginning to work with startup banks as well, and they also see the potential around this. So this is not about an us versus them. This is about all of us coming together to offer better solutions to customers when they're shopping overseas. I think one of the interesting things, and I don't know the stats for the Austrian market, but one of the interesting things about the UK market is that we still bring large amounts of cash overseas with us when we travel. And that may have made sense 20, 30 years ago when there wasn't huge card acceptance worldwide. But today there's massive card acceptance across every geography, and yet still people are in the habit of taking large amounts of cash with them overseas. That's not the most secure way to travel. Cards are a much more secure way to travel. So not only will we be giving people a better proposition, we'll be able to give them a better way of spending overseas and take them away from a historic reliance on cash, which is old technology. And it's good technology, but it's old technology, and it's time to move forward into something that's better for consumers now.
Awesome. Max, it's very interesting for me to observe the dynamics in the fintech space. I can hear all three startups now, they say we want to help Raiffeisen Bank International to develop better products, to, so to say, develop our products together. Do you think that's a positive dynamic, going away from we're going to disrupt and destroy banks to let's work together to become better?
Definitely. That's our meaning, what we are doing. I mean, we are sure that cooperation is the better way. We both have strengths. Startups have strengths, corporates have strength. They are fit together in most of the cases, but still I think corporates need to be ready for this cooperation, and there needs to be a good process. There needs to be the readiness in the corporate culture to be able to cooperate with startups. What we saw last year from the Elevator Lab, that we set up a process that enables these cooperations. We had fantastic 5 use cases running. We have now, when we are standing here, we have we've signed one contract with one company. We have 2 other companies in really very in-depth discussions right now, and continuing the partnership. So we showed that RBI as a bank is ready for these cooperations, that we have the processes but also the mindset in place, and because of this success, of course, we want to continue, and there are so many good solutions out there. Cambrist is one example of that, and we want to try out things fast, see if we can help each other, if we fit together, and then also scale together fast.
We saw 15 pitches now, and then I had to go to build up the live stream, so I didn't get the chance to get to know the finalists. How many finalists did you take in this round?
It was a very tough decision. We had an intense discussion in our innovation board with our top management, and we then decided on 8 of these 15 to do the pilot projects. Nevertheless, there's still interest in some of those who were not chosen, but we will follow on with them in a parallel talk, so to say.
What I also think it's a very, very good dynamic. I spoke to some international managers of Raiffeisen in the CEE countries, and they all say, we want to work with this startup, we want to work with this startup, regardless whether they make it into the final round. I mean, that's awesome. It's nothing better can happen to innovation manager and project lead of that.
Now we're really, really happy from the support from the top management, but also going down into the organization, to our IT people, to our network banks. Everyone is supporting these partnerships. Everyone is aware of the fact that these partnerships helps both sides and that we can create value for our customers, and this must be then the goal in the end. No?
Ross, can you confirm this dynamic? He's not listening, be honest.
No, it's absolutely true. And I think one of the, my background is from the banking industry. And I think one of the things that's impressive about programs like this is that it's not just about sort of getting to proof of concepts. It's not just about getting to pilots and moving on to further stage contracts beyond that. It's also about opening up people's attention to new ideas, increasing their awareness of things that are out there. Like I said, I worked in a bank for years, and the first events like this that I went to, it was really about me discovering what is out there and seeing just what great ideas that people have to actually bring to the banking industry. The reality is banking is not always the easiest industry to be involved in. There's lots happening. There's
strongly
lots of
regulated.
All of that sort of thing. And people are busy just delivering on their daily tasks. And sometimes it can be hard to lift their head up above the parapet and see what else is out there. And I think that's one of the great things about that, is that these sort of programs really build awareness amongst the teams about the potential opportunities that are out there and the ideas that they can bring into their daily lives. And once you have awareness, you then need to bring it to action. And really, that's where we'll see what happens now. Like, this is now moving from awareness into action. And now that we can hopefully go through a successful proof of concept delivery, we'll get into that action point. We can show them the value that we can bring to Raiffeisen, to bring to Raiffeisen consumers and cardholders. And on the back of that, seek further relationships with Raiffeisen and also more broadly.
Excellent. Max, you have a strong, so to say, support and mentorship program in the Accelerator as well. And I've heard, I mean, you started this Accelerator last year for the first time. This is only the second batch. And as if I heard that correctly, there's many colleagues applying to be mentors, applying to be part of the program. How do you find this dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, the startup virus is spreading the organization. We had this year the pleasure to work even more closely with our network banks from CEE, and the dynamics, the motivation, the inspiration that is coming from these markets is amazing. And we are also happy to have today here a lot of colleagues from our markets in Central and Eastern Europe, because this, best practice sharing, this experience sharing is immensely important for us as a group.
What is your expectation on the 8 projects that are going into the acceleration phase? What do you expect from them?
Hard work. We will start tomorrow in the morning. Tomorrow in the morning the pilot projects officially start, and we will run until February, and then we will see what we can show.
What do you want to achieve until February?
For us, it's about proving what we can do in a non-production environment between now and February. So we can prove our technology and prove that RBI has the systems and processes available to take advantage of that technology, and we can work together to build that. Once we have that sort of proof in a non-production environment, the idea then is obviously to move into a production environment so we can actually deliver these benefits to cardholders out there. And I think Max doesn't need to worry. We're startups. We're used to hard work. That's no problem. Although I would take exception to the idea that we're a virus. I'm not sure that we're an infection. I'm not sure I like that.
Max, startups are, many banks say, many insurance companies say, crucial to the innovation process, because you're so highly regulated that many things you wouldn't be able to try out if you didn't have these rockets and speedballs outside the company to try out new products. Could you confirm that?
I mean, I'm not sure if only the regulation is the only reason. Yeah? Of course, a bank is another beast than a startup that is just founded. Yeah? We have several reasons why we cannot move as fast and as quick as we would like to. Still, that's one of the reasons why it makes so much sense to cooperate.
With one of the projects in the last batch, you managed to launch the product within 4 or 5 months. That would usually take maybe 1 or 2 years. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, as I said, we were really happy, and I hope we will have some of these experiences this year. But it is hard work. It was hard work last year. It starts by tomorrow, and it will continue until February.
Perfect. And we'll keep in touch. We'll observe what you're doing and talk to you in February. Then hopefully you can present me some products that maybe I can use already then in the near future. Thank you for being with us.
Wouldn't that be great? Did Max just tell me to go to bed ahead of tomorrow? Is that the? Is that what? Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of drinks and a good catering
Good,
here.
good.
Thank you for your time, Max. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us. It's very, very interesting here. It was full house actually. All people were standing. I came into the room, couldn't find any space. Many people standing. The dynamic is really, really awesome, and we like it. I think it's a power for Austrian fintech ecosystem as well. You come from UK. Maybe you have been further than us, but we're catching up.
Ireland.
Sorry,
Ireland.
Sorry, Ireland. Sorry. There was supposed to be a startup from UK in the leaves. Okay, thank you for being with us. It's really exciting here, and we'll keep you posted on the further developments. And hopefully someday in the near future, we'll all use the products that come out from these POCs. Thank you and good night.